When I say these noodles are hot, these noodles are hot.
Years in the wilderness is long enough for what's left of the train. And so he'd like to find a home for it in a museum.
You want to try?
In the middle of the snow,
And I got a
probably
piece
quite
card.
exciting.
Okay.
Stumbling across 200 T-72 tanks you weren't expecting
No,
to
but
see
baby, it's hot.
is likely to be downright terrifying. But it's happened to someone in Yekaterinburg Forest in Sverdlovsk. They look like an occupying army, but according to the Russian military, they're just temporarily being stored there until a more permanent placement can be found.
I want some hot
Allegedly, they're under constant surveillance, but the number of people who've been able to walk up to them and climb on them to take pictures without being interrupted seems to cast doubt on that suggestion. The tanks come along the train tracks to Elenskaya and are then moved to the forest, pending further instructions.
Go away.
It's been happening on and off since late 2010. Occasionally, the tanks are all moved on, but a few months later, they mysteriously reappear again. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, and you will be the first to know when a new video comes out. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.
Okay. Keep it up. You're gonna get some need to do.
I can go head-to-head with Donald Trump on the economy and expose him for what he is, a fraud and a failure.
And what the fuck are you?
Motherfucking rich, motherfucker.
We're making new discoveries about the world each and every day, but some deserve a shout-out more than others. These are the discoveries that have made us reevaluate how we see the world today and have made us question everything we know about life around us. Make sure to stick around until the end to hear about the historians who found an ancient city that's still shrouded in mystery today. Before we shock you with some of these crazy findings, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the richest and join our notification squad. Now let's get into 10 of the most rare discoveries ever made.
They weren't lying. These noodles are hot.
In 2016, a 10-foot wide stone ball was discovered in a Bosnian forest, and no one knew where it came from. Was it created by Mother Nature, or perhaps by a lost civilization? Located near the town of Zapadovici, the giant sphere is partially stuck inside the ground and was thought to weigh over 30 tons. So, if it was man-made, there were certainly a lot of grueling hours that went into its construction. Experts had never seen anything like it before, so they were cautious of building the stone too much. But they did manage to figure out that it probably had a very high iron content. They also decided that the Bosnian sphere might actually be the largest sphere that had ever been discovered in the world. Or if not in the world, then at least in Europe. And that wasn't where the strange discovery ended.
Get out.
Some researchers were convinced that beneath the huge sphere lay an enormous maze of tunnels and pyramids. However, due to the weight of the stone, little has been done to move it, and so its history is still relatively unknown. Food King meteorite. This meteorite first hit the ground.
Go away, both of y'all.
From the outside, it looked like little more than a dark-colored lump of rock. But cutting it open ended up being the best decision of a group of scientists' lives, because what they found was breathtaking. Back in the year 2000, this 2,211-pound meteorite was discovered near Fukang, a city located in the northwestern region of China. Aptly named the Fukang meteorite, it was identified as a palisite, a type of stony iron meteorite that has striking olivine crystals throughout. Palisites are extremely rare among meteorites, and they only equate to about 1% of all meteorites found. As such, the discovery of the Fukang meteorite has been hailed as one of the greatest space-based discoveries of the 21st century. The rock was sliced into pieces and sent off to auction. An anonymous collector holds the largest portion, which weighs 925 pounds. In 2008, this piece was expected to fetch $2 million at auction in New York. But it remained unsold for a long period of time before someone finally coughed up the cash for it. It's so valuable that even tiny chunks sell in the region of $40 to $60 per gram. Talent Man. On Monday morning, May 8, 1950, the police of a town in Denmark received an alarming message. A body had been discovered in a bog nearby. The body was found by two brothers and their family, who were digging for peat to be used as fuel. They believed that it must have been the victim of a recent homicide since it appeared so fresh. However, when the police took a closer look, they noticed that the soil hadn't been touched for a long time, which made no sense. It didn't take long for the people present at the site to realize that an important discovery had been made. And so, famous archaeologist Professor P.V. Glaub was sent for. It turned out that the body, which became known as the Talland Man, was a naturally preserved mummified man who had passed away sometime between 4 BC and 300 BC. Somehow, his body had stayed naturally preserved over thousands of years. X-rays revealed that the Talland Man's neck was not broken, but the forensic examiner was still certain that the man had been hanged. Later examinations by other doctors proved that he was right. While it's quite normal to find mummies in Egypt, it's always a treat when we discover bodies from the past that were never intended to be preserved. Volgograd discs. A team of Russian investigators were shocked to find more than a dozen stone discs in the Volgograd region of their country, leading them to believe that unidentified foreign objects had been through the area. The team claimed that the discs contained tungsten, a high-density metal that has been used in military technology, but the nature of the discs and their purpose remained unknown. The discs were found by UFO hunters who had been exploring the area due to its notoriety to the occurrence of mystical phenomena. The rumors that spread were also not helped by the fact that these disc-shaped objects looked very similar to flying saucers, which are commonly associated with aliens and UFO activity. The UFO investigations team was convinced that the discs had a connection to aliens, and the scientists at the nearby Zernowski Museum couldn't rule it out completely. Some conspiracy theorists think that the discs could be about 1 million years old, and that they were military drones that were damaged in an attack on Mars, thus falling to Earth. So far, no one has discovered anything further about these stone discs. Nazca Lines. It might be increasingly common for people to discover new types of odd monuments dotted around the world. But the Nazca Lines in Peru were certainly one of a kind, and they still puzzle researchers to this day. They continue to be one of the world's rarest discoveries, both in terms of their origin and design patterns. The Nazca Lines, a series of semi-visible sketches in the ground, were thought to be etched into the high desert of southern Peru more than a millennium ago. More than 1,000 of these geoglyphs, which means ground drawings, are sprawled across the sandy soil of Nazca province. Some of the lines are believed to belong to the Nazca culture, which existed in the area from the year 200 to 700 AD. However, archaeologists suspect that the earlier Paracas and Tapara cultures may have carved many of the lines before the Nazca people did. What's incredibly rare about these lines is that they can only be properly viewed from up in the sky. So not only were they an unusual find, but they were also different to most discoveries, and that research into their history couldn't be done from the ground. Baby grave. What's the most gruesome thing you've ever discovered when looking for buried treasure?
Oh, don't start there.
Israel's Mediterranean coast.
What to do?
Port of Ashkelon, archaeologist Ross Voss made a particularly horrible find. While exploring one of the city's sewers, he discovered a large number of small bones. Initially, the bones were thought to belong to chickens. However, it was later discovered that the bones were actually human bones from the Roman era, and not from fully grown humans.
Hey! You so foolish. Come here.
Bones of 100 young children were found.
Why are you screaming and carrying on? We hear you.
What he do? What you do?
Who noted there were no signs of illness. The children had been healthy when they passed away. The specialist also utilized a method of forensic testing that allowed her to determine that none of the
Why you bite? Come here.
a week before their lives were cut short.
Come here.
During Roman times,
I ain't finna hit you for biting him. Come here.
Infants.
Don't put your damn mouth on nobody's hair. Go away.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, right. So you gonna scream your ass off until you get her attention.
Because it's the cheesiest. Kraft. For the win-win.
Now he gonna scream his ass off.
Come here, Ed.
As newborn infants were viewed as not being full humans yet. This was certainly a gruesome and rare discovery. Göbekli Tepe. The archaeological site of Göbekli Tepe
nothing, right?
doesn't make sense.
I barely hit you. I ain't hit him for nothing. You keep your mouth off people's head. Your ass catch
Okay, okay.
Based in southeastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe is so old and complex that it has rewritten not just our understanding of Turkish
I'm sorry.
but the entire history of humanity. Based on everything we know about how modern civilization works,
Yeah, so that's bullshit.
however, it does and has.
Don't look at me like
Oh,
that.
that's bullshit.
That's
He
bullshit.
bit that boy in the head.
He ain't bit him
It
in the
then went on to
fucking
be
head.
active civilization for nearly 3 millennia before
Faking his ass off.
circumstances around 9,000
So
years
you
ago.
know how to get your goddamn
Cultural
attention.
styles seen in the
Okay.
construction of its many temples is seriously impressive.